Hello, my name is Derek, and I want to welcome you to Random Philosophy. Today I'm going to be presenting a defense of objective morality. What is objective morality? It's the belief that there are some actions that are inherently wrong, that there are cases wherein if some person P performs some action X, then it's more likely that there's something wrong with P than it is the case that there's nothing wrong with action X. For example, if some person P tortures children for fun, then it is more likely that there's something wrong with P than it is that there's nothing wrong with torturing children for fun. Someone who believes that morality is objective also admits that there are disagreements about morality, just like there are disagreements about medicine or mathematics or healthcare. Disagreements don't negate objectivity. So what's it like to believe that morality is objective? Some of us believe that consequentialism is the case. Some of us believe that virtue ethics makes the most sense. Some of us believe that judgments about morality are about harm. Some of us believe that morality is about meeting the needs of sentient beings. Some of us believe that duty-based ethics make the most sense. Some of us believe that some combination of these accounts is necessary for ethical standards. There are other ethical theories. The point is that people who believe that morality is objective believe that some actions are inherently wrong and that there is some objective way to look at morality, so not relativism or subjectivism. And there are some objections to objective morality. Number one, the objection could be that there can be no objective way to look at morality. Number two, objective morality requires a deity. Number three, someone could point out that there are disagreements. I already mentioned utilitarianism versus virtue ethics versus rule-based ethics. So they could say that if there are disagreements, then it can be objective. And then there is Mackey's argument from queerness. Mackey says that if there were objective values, then they would be entities or qualities or relations of a very strange sort, utterly different than anything else in the universe. So here are some responses to those objections. So to the objection that there just cannot be a way to look at morality objectively, the response could be if objective morality, then it is like mathematics or healthcare or even facts. It's independent of the person making that statement. In the same way that we can be objective about math or healthcare or facts, we can be objective about morality. And to the objection that morality requires a deity, there are self-professed atheists who argue for objective morality. For instance, Walter Sennett Armstrong and Daniel Finke. I have resources for all these people at the end of my talk. And in addition to those atheists, there are also many philosophers who argue for objective morality without appealing to a deity. For instance, Walter Sennett Armstrong, he's my favorites, Simon Blackburn, Paul Boghossian, Daniel Finke, Louis Pojman, and Timothy Williamson. And in response to the objection that there are disagreements, we could point out that there are also disagreements about math and healthcare or even facts. And in response to the argument from queerness, we could quote Christine Korsgaard. She says, of course there are entities that meet these criteria. It's true that they are queer sorts of entities and that knowing them isn't like anything else, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. For it is the most familiar fact of human life that the world contains entities that can tell us what to do and make us do it. They are people and the other animals. And I would ask, are moral facts, if they exist, really any stranger than other facts? So here are some thought exercises. Imagine a society that decided that because there are disagreements about facts, that all facts are only opinions, or that we can't be objective when making judgments about fact versus opinion. Imagine a society that decided that because healthcare is man-made and there are disagreements about how to do healthcare well, that there can be no objective standards. Imagine a society that decided that because there are disagreements about mathematics, there are no objective standards in regards to mathematics. If we had decided in advance that these things could not be objective, then we would not have even looked for ways that they could be objective. And here's some more thought exercises. In response to the objection, if objective morality, then we do not even know what is right or wrong because there is no agreed upon method to look at morality, then I would suggest that we remember that humans are making discoveries all the time. Imagine if someone living hundreds of years ago were to make the claim, there can be no objective way to look to make a model of the solar system. I know this because there are so many disagreements about the nature of our solar system. He could appeal to Galileo's system and Copernicus' system and Tycho Brahe, etc. So what are the alternatives to objective morality? If relativity in regards to morality, do we really believe that all discussion of morality is based on opinion and that all opinions about morality are equal? If you do agree that not all opinions about morality are equal, then by what standard do you make these judgments? And consider that if one believes that morality is only about culture, should we then be tolerant of different cultural views of morality? And is this view of tolerance an objective standard? And as promised, here are some resources. These are just some brief biographical sketches of some of the people that I've mentioned, and you can also hear them talk about morality. Like here's a link to Walter Sennett Armstrong talking about morality without God. And here's a talk that Simon Blackburn did on moral relativism versus objective morality. And here is Paul Boghossian talking about relative morality and objective morality. And Daniel Finke, you can just do a search on Google for him. Just type in Daniel Finke objective morality, and you'll see several of his talks, and you can read several of his blog posts. And there's Louis Paul Poschmann. He wrote an article called The Case Against Moral Relativism that's included in the Contemporary Moral Arguments, Readings on Ethical Issues, 2nd edition. And here is Timothy Williamson. He did a talk on the appeal of relativism. And there's also Hilary Putnam. If you're interested in objective morality, look into his writings on the fact-value dichotomy. And I just want to thank you for listening to this video, and hopefully I will upload more soon. Thank you.